Home stretch in the race for the White House this week. More endorsements, more positioning, and some comedy by the candidates.
They call her, what's that name they call her? Cara, what do they call her again, Tina?
That'd be Caribou Barbie.
Caribou Barbie.
She's some sport, right? She's a good sport. Joining us this morning, we have CBS 2 blogger, political analyst Steve Adubato, and political commentator for the New York Daily News and morning radio host of WWRL, Errol Lewis. Were you two laughing too?
We were watching it again in the makeup room. She is funny. She is self-deprecating. She got it, and I tell you what, she scored a home run on Saturday Night Live. It was a risky but smart move.
It was a bit risky, and people were questioning whether she would do it or not with all these Tina Fey impersonations. What do you think?
Well, she's got a fan base already, and there's no show without that, you know. So I think she did what she had to do. I don't know if it helps her politically, of course, but you know, from the standpoint of celebrity, which is different from leadership, but from the standpoint of celebrity, absolutely a home run.
Well, let's be honest, much of Obama's appeal is that he's a celebrity, and I would argue that right now, when it comes to the celebrity factor, she's right there with him.
17 days till the election. What do these candidates need to do?
Well, first of all, think about this. You've got Missouri. You got 100,000 people at the beginning of the report. 100,000 people in Missouri for Obama. You've got McCain down in North Carolina. Everything's flipped around. The whole idea of red and blue states, which states are Democratic, which states are Republican, that is up in the air, and I'll tell you what, the Republicans have to hold on to those key states. If Obama breaks into those, it's going to be a big problem.
Keep on looking at polling and polling and polling, but what does it truly mean? I mean, right now it's an uphill battle for McCain.
Absolutely.
Could it turn in short of a time?
Back to 1980, 7 days before the election, Carter was ahead. They had their one and only debate, and Ronald Reagan ended up winning 44 states. So, you know, you can see big swings at the end. So what the McCain-Palin campaign has to do, remembering that, needs to keep pushing, keep trying to make the case. They've been arguing recently that the Democratic platform amounts to socialism, an attempt to just completely disqualify Obama at the last minute. That's not likely to work, but it will fire up the base and maybe help them hold the states that Bush won 4 years ago.
Errol, I disagree with you. That whole thing, listen, the whole Joe the Plumber thing is overdone, but the reality of it is McCain has a legitimate point saying that there's some redistribution going on. When Obama says to a guy who's a working guy who's making $250 if he ever makes that much as a plumber, yes, you're doing well, but some of those others who aren't doing well, we want them to do well. That doesn't sell to people because they're saying, wait a minute, Obama, we kind of like you, but we're having a problem with the idea that you would take our money because we're doing well and redistribute it to others.
Understood. You know, the problem, though, is that now you're fighting against the New Deal, you know? I mean, what you're saying, I mean, because, look, every tax, by definition, takes money from everyone and sort of allocates it in a way that's not the same as it was, or else you wouldn't have needed to collect the taxes.
But when you personalize it, you're against it.
Yeah, but you know what, Joe the Plumber, if we are indeed staring at the brink of something akin to the last Great Depression, I think people wanted the government to step in 60 years ago, and that's where we are now. And that's the case that the government shouldn't step in if it's 1933 or 1934. It's not going to sell.
Joe the Plumber, really, people look at that and say, you know, I am Joe the Plumber. So many small business owners in this country. Will that stick, though, with voters? You got 2 weeks. You know, a lot of people look at this and look at history and say 1 week of a presidential election is like 1 month of any other race.
Mary, I think there's something there. I really do. And Obama did not do a good job face-to-face with that guy, Joe, the plumber. You make jokes, everyone can make jokes, you know, who makes $250 as a plumber? You don't like your plumber. The reality is when Obama was face-to-face with him, he didn't have a legitimate explanation as to when the guy said, you're going to take my money, give it to someone else. Obama went on forever, but didn't deny that he was going to do that.
Although I must point out, just as a matter of fact, that he's not a plumber, he's not licensed. 5 years ago, he could have become an apprentice and didn't. He's nowhere near making enough money to buy the business. He's not the best salesman for this idea.
Respectfully, Errol, he's not running for president. Let's not analyze the guy and then tear him apart as if he's a public figure.
Well, no, but I mean, but indeed, when you look at it, he would do better under an Obama presidency as far as his tax cut than he would under McCain.
His perception is that he would not, and if others can relate to him, perception is 3/4 of American politics. If most Americans relate to that guy, Obama has a problem.
Let the battle begin.
Okay.
Errol, Steve, thanks so much for being with us. Remember, CBS 2 is your home for politics. Bob Schieffer will have much more on Face the Nation at 10:30. And don't forget, at 11, Spirited Debate with John McLaughlin and the McLaughlin Group. That is right here on CBS 2.